Welcome again to Chris's Caribbean Delights and a happy Easter to everyone. We're doing Easter things this week. Today I'm going to make a lovely Easter bread, and lovely bread that you can use at your Easter dinner, or you can use it as a dessert. It's going to be a little sweet. It's going to have some raisins in there. It's going to be nice and fluffy, and it's going to be great. So, I hope you had a chance to look at the lemon pound cake with the lemon topping, the fresh lemon, the candied lemon toppings. So I did that 2 days ago. So that's in the repertoire. So take a look at that also. Let's go to the ingredients and let's get our Easter bread made. So let's get our dough together, and we're going to put this so that it can be rested a little. I have a cup of water here, lukewarm water. It's maybe about 115 or maybe 110 degrees. And I have 1 tablespoon of yeast. 1 tablespoon of yeast. We'll put that in there. I have a half a cup of sugar, and I have a teaspoon of salt. Teaspoon of salt. This is what? Half a teaspoon, right? No, this is 1 teaspoon. Okay, a teaspoon of salt. So that's in there. We're going to give that a stir. We're going to give this a stir just to let the sugar and everything incorporate and just melt down in there. I'm using instant yeast, so we don't have to wait for it to be bloomed or anything. Here I have a stick of butter. You can also use oil, but I love the butter. I'm using room temperature butter. The room temperature butter. And I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour here. So we're going to go in with our dough hook. And I have some eggs here, which I'm going to incorporate once I get it mixed a little. Once it's mixed a little, I'll just incorporate the eggs. I just want that to get going and to start to form the dough. Okay, that's been going for a little while. We'll just add our 2 large eggs. Two large eggs, and we'll just let that incorporate into the dough. And it's going to be a little sticky, tacky dough, but it shouldn't stick to your finger. Shouldn't stick to your finger. It should be sticky, but it should not stick to your fingers. So we're going to let that all incorporate, and I'll be back. So here we are. See, it's nice. It's very sticky right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some nice warm spices in here. A little bit of nutmeg and a little bit of mace powder, and just to give it that nice warm Easter feel, you know what I mean? The fragrance is going to be just fantastic. So let's get some spices. have some nutmeg there, and maybe some allspice. Just put a half a teaspoon of allspice in there. I'm gonna grate a little nutmeg in there. Easter is all about the spices and the stuff, and your baking. You know, the aroma in the house. So I'm putting here maybe about a teaspoon of nutmeg in here. And a teaspoon of mace powder, or maybe half a teaspoon of mace powder, since I have the nutmeg in there. Half a teaspoon of mace powder. Some nice warm spices. So we let this continue. Let that continue to incorporate, and we'll see. If we see after about 2 to 3 minutes and it's still very sticky, you can feel free to add a little more flour, and just to get it to the consistency that you want. So feel free, when you test it, to add maybe a sprinkle of flour, start with maybe a tablespoon at a time. So we'll let this go. And what I want is for it to be able to, I must be able to stretch it out a little, and it should move away from the sides of the bowl. So let's give this maybe about 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll be back to see the progress. As you can see, it's coming away from the sides of the bowl. It's coming away from the sides of the bowl, and that's what you're looking for. Scrape the sides down. So, see, it's sticky, but it's not sticking to your finger. And if you pinch it, it would stick to your finger if you pinch it, because the gluten has not developed yet. So you have to give it another 3 or 4 minutes so that the gluten can develop. And so when you pinch it and you pull it, it's going to like the window testing. You'll see it gets thin, but it doesn't break apart. Now it's breaking apart. So here we go, it's not sticking to your finger, and when you stretch it, it's stretching nicely. So this is what you want. So we're going to turn this out onto a lightly floured surface, and we'll give it a knead until it gets nice and smooth, and we'll just let it rest for about an hour. So we've been kneading it for maybe about a minute or so right now, and it's getting nice and smooth. Okay, that looks good. So we'll just get a grease. I'll just use my butter paper here. Use that for, and we'll just put the bread in, put the dough in there, and it's gonna proof. I just also like a little spurts of oil on the top. So that it wouldn't form a crust, you know? And then we'll cover it and let it sit for at least an hour. Until it's double in size, actually. And the area that you're gonna proof it in should be nice and warm, and it should be between 70 and 80 degrees. If you're like how I'm here in New York, it's not really warm as yet. I usually would use the stove. The stove has a proofing. My stove has a proofing mode, where I just do bread proofing, and I put it in there, and it comes up to maybe about 80 degrees or so, and it does the bread proofing. So that's what I'm going to do. Other than that, just find a nice warm spot, and you can let it sit for about an hour. Well, just after about an hour, I took it out of the proof the oven where it was proofing, and it's doubled in size. It looks lovely. So we're going to deflate, and I'm going to add my raisins in there, and we're going to proceed to the braiding. We're going to do a braid and see what design we're going to get, what style we're going to braid it in. So let's go ahead and deflate our dough. Feels nice. We're going to turn this out onto a floured surface once more. You want to incorporate your raisins. Just fold them in. And divide it into 6 equal pieces, and for that you can either use a kitchen scale, which I do recommend using a kitchen scale so you can get even amounts for the 6 pieces. So let me get my scale out. So we'll use a bench scraper to just make our division. Cut it once down the center, and then we're gonna cut into 3 pieces. Then we're gonna weigh them and make sure that they're the same size. So we have 2 pieces of parchment paper. I just want to rest it. I don't want it to stick onto the scale. So let's see. This one is 8 ounces. 8 ounces. Okay. That was 8 1/4. This is 8 5/8. And this is 7 3/4. So here, the 8 5/8. Let's take a little piece off of that, and that's 8 1/2. Now, so they're around the same size. Okay, so now we know we basically all have the same size. We just go ahead and we're going to start rolling them out into logs. But before I start making my strands, I just roll them back up and I let them rest, because we have been putting the raisins in there, and the gluten has been distressed for a little bit, so we just let it rest. Because if you do it right away, when you're rolling, you'll find that it's going to pull back together. It's going to, as you stretch it out to make your log, it's going to retract, and that means the gluten needs to rest again so that it be relaxed. So, and you'll get whatever shape you want. So we'll let this rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll be back. So we basically want a log about maybe 12 inches, I would say. 12 inch span, a 12-inch log, so that it would braid nicely. Because we're going to braid this up. Or maybe 12 to 14 inches. I don't have a ruler or anything else. This looks like a good length. This looks like a very good length. That looks like, oh, I have a ruler. I have a ruler right here. So we can do that. It's like 17 inches. Yeah, these mats come with rulers and everything. So 17 inches. You get each one about 17 inches long. So I'll go ahead and do the rest, and then I'll be back when we start braiding. I have a prepared cookie sheet here, which I'm going to lay it on. I'm going to make like a star, a bread. The bread would be like a braided star. So we'll go ahead and do that. And whilst you're doing this, just make sure your oven is preheated at 350 or 180 Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. So we'll go ahead and start the braiding. So we'll first we'll actually be working with all 6 of them at the same time. I just have to find a good angle here. So and what we'll do is sprinkle a little flour on the logs so that they wouldn't stick together. Just brush them a little so they wouldn't, they wouldn't stick together when you're moving them around. So what I want to do is I want to here I have like 2 points, like I have like 4 points, right? We'll have like 1 point coming this way, 1 point coming the other way, and we have another point going that way. Okay, so what I want to do is I just move them a little closer. But what I'm doing, I'm kind of weaving the second 3 logs under the first 3 logs, so to speak. Okay, and because we want them to be nice and tight. And what I'll probably do here is just leave this one on top. Okay, so we have 3 coming this way, 3 going this way, 3 going this way, and 3 going this way. And it will be a simple braid, a simple braid, which you just cross, come across again. Simple braid. We're not going to go into any other type or style of braiding, and that's done. And we're going to move up here. You can probably put this on under here. It might look a little better. And we do that. So we have 2 sections done. If we can successfully move it around, that would be great. Okay, or just move the whole sheet. How about that? Just move the whole sheet to whatever angle you want. And you'll go there, you'll go there, you'll go there, you'll go there. There you go. And now on this side, we'll do the same. Pull and stretch a little. Okay. And here we are. We have a lovely star. Okay. So now we're gonna let this rise again for maybe another 30 minutes or so. We'll be back. So we'll just cover it lightly, and I'll be back. So here we are. I've allowed it to rise again for another 4 to 5 minutes, and it's nice. It has a nice plump look right now. And I'm going to At this moment, I have an egg wash here, which is an egg yolk along with some milk, and I whisk that a little, and I'm going to put an egg wash on there and make sure you get into all the crevices so it get a nice golden brown color. So here we go. Let's apply the egg wash. Into the oven, 350 for about 20 to 35 minutes. So let's see what it looks like on the inside. That was an easy cut. Wow. It's so flaky. Soft. Silky. This would make a wonderful French toast. Beautiful. Awesome. Oh, that's what we're looking for. Soft, tasty. It's a wrap. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next clip. Happy Easter.